Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got Bet David? Valuetainment, giving values contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we get no value to haters. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
Yeah. Okay, so I got some news for you today. By the way, I don't think we've ever started a podcast as early as we just did today.
We did it, guys.
The fact that 8:59, we're excited to get started with you guys. For some of you guys that are late, we got a lot of stories to cover. I don't know if you've heard or not. President Trump said on Nelk Boys to Kyle that he's going on Rogan. And a story came out yesterday that Kamala is considering going on Rogan, according to Reuters, which we'll definitely talk about. That Boeing is letting go of 17,000 people, 10% of their workforce. Starbucks is dealing with some trouble here, folks. Get ready to pay more for your Starbucks. This, by the way, the problem here is Starbucks is going up, coffee. On the other side, I got a story that says 450 7-Elevens are shutting down.
What?
So even if you're like, well, I'm going to leave Starbucks to go to 7-Eleven, they're probably shutting down anyway. So where are you going to go now? Maybe Dunkin' Donuts?
Dunkin' Donuts.
What do you coffee drinking people go to, right?
Oh,
It's
no.
like
Make it
first
at your
floor.
house.
Where will Abu work?
All right, Tom. But the next story, it's an inside joke for us. Iran has hit a list of hit list former Trump aides. The U.S. is scrambling to protect them. Rob found a great clip from stage that Trump was talking about Iranians that he found incredible, Rob, that clip that you have. And we got a few other things here. Trump's tax cuts that you've had, folks. All the billionaires that are watching this, all the 17 million of you that are billionaires, according to Kamala, which, by the way, isn't it funny that they say they're going to tax billionaires, but Kamala has more billionaires supporting her than billionaires supporting Trump. So if Trump's for the rich, why are billionaires supporting Kamala? Is it because they're now noble and they want to, it's for the small guy?
Well, it could be that. It could outweigh, but does that outweigh what Elon said that a lot of these billionaires were at Epstein's,
Watch your language.
Hey,
Watch your language.
hey,
Or
Trump's tax
maybe
cuts.
she's the puppet and they're the puppeteers.
Tom, don't buy into this type of theories you read about when you watch this channels like the Fox.
Tom got a buzz cut, so he's tough right now.
Trump's tax cuts could expire this year. We'll talk about that. Obama tells black men it's not acceptable to sit out this election. I mean, the level of scolding and lecturing he did was monumental. I'm sure it worked, and they loved him for it.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that as well. Economy under Trump versus Biden. SNL is doing a bunch of different political family feud. DOJ sues Virginia over order removing illegal migrants from voter rolls. Let me tell you, it may not make sense on what I just read to you. I'm going to read it to you later on, and Tom's going to give you a reaction. You're going to sit there and say, there's no way this story is true. It's a true story. I told you about 7-Eleven, heartbreaking. And by the way, to me, you have to realize, I actually am a fan of 7-Eleven, okay? And I've been a customer for 7-Eleven since I was 12 years old. When back in the days, the 7-Eleven in Glendale off of Chevy Chase and Broadway had Street Fighter and had Mortal Kombat.
In 7-Eleven?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Yeah. It was like Ryu and Ken, and you know, it was a. We want to make sure these guys stay in business.
You did that video when you were eating a hot dog at 7-Eleven, and Vivek. I think Vivek literally responded, "Thank you for come again."
He did.
With Eric.
He did. So maybe he's going to be hurt by this story. Yes. But anyways, TikTok can become addictive after just 35 minutes. Uncovered documents claim America's new millionaire class, ready? Plumbers and HVAC entrepreneurs. SpaceX successfully catch a Starship booster. We have to react to that. I mean, that was absolute. While this guy's having 12 kids, while he's running all these businesses, while he's campaigning for Trump, this guy had time to get a Starship to come back. We'll address that. Trump proposes Musk as cost-cutting secretary, okay? As cost-cutting secretary, and a couple stories came in the middle, which is Kamala delivers new baffling word salad involving consolations. Rob has that clip. Bill Clinton blames Biden administration for not vetting Laken Riley's alleged murder, which we'll talk about. While stomping on Harris in Georgia, Trump urges appeal, judges to move a hush money case to federal court, and then a couple stories, which New York Times to Bezos, backed AI startup. Stop using our stuff. Google, bunch of these guys that are liberal folks, Google, are now backing new nuclear plants to power AI. Actual nuclear plants to power AI, and used EVs right now are for sale, putting owners and dealers in a bind. And at the end of the cheap burger from Bloomberg, and I'll give you this last story here. TD Bank pleads guilty in money laundering case. Will pay you $3 billion. Will pay $3 billion in penalties. That's a CNBC story.
What?
By the way, before we go into all these stories that we got to cover, something's happening. So I don't know if you feel it or not. Something's happening, and I'll let you know what's happening. But stay tuned for something's happening. I will tell you, for those of you guys that are coming to the election night party, a couple of the ticket tiers are about to sell out. We've sold almost 1,000 tickets. They're moving left and right. People are picking it up. We're excited about having you guys that night. But here's what I wanted to share with you today, which is the big news. This is the big news. I have all these polos I buy, all these brands, Brioni. You know, you go buy, I'm going to buy this Ferragamo. I'm going to go buy this. And then a week later, I take it to the dry cleaners. Boom, the collar goes like this. I can't stand it. I'm paying $700, $800 for this stuff. So I go to a Yankees game. We're at the box upstairs. I see this Yankees shirt. I am like, this is sick. I'm not even kidding with you. We bought 3 of them. The reason why we bought 3 of them, because one of them, I sat on a candle. It burned. I don't want to get into that story. I have to buy 2 more, but I'm telling you too much story. I came back and I said, I want this. And I went to Chris and I went to Ben. I said, guys, I want this except for Vitamin, and I want the collars to stay like this. I don't want it to come down. So guess what we have now? These sold out at the Vault Conference. Within seconds, they sold out. They're now here. The future looks bright. Polo, high quality, all custom, by the way. Valuetainment logo on the back of it. It says future looks bright. We have different colors, Rob. If you're on it right now, we have the black, the gray, the blue. You pick and choose different size. The material.
It's like air.
It's like air. Just look how it dances. Watch this.
It's a dancing.
Watch
dancing
this here.
Queen.
I wear these 3 times a day. The only reason I'm wearing this today is because I'm doing a video ad later on. But if you are somebody that loves Valuetainment, you sport our gear, and you want to go out there and wear it at work, and you want to look professional, go order the latest Future Looks Bright polo that came in. By the way, this will sell out in absolutely no time, and then you're going to be left having to order a size medium while you're an extra large.
Medium.
And it's not going to be a good look, because that's what Adam does. Adam always goes looking for mediums, but it is what it is.
That's actually Brandon, Pat. Come on.
We're going to put the links below. Don't ever talk about Brandon like that again. National
But let's
security.
go, Brandon. What do you mean?
So anyways, links going to be below. Go do your thing. Place the order. With that being said, let's get into right into the stories.
PBD, it's great to have your voice back.
Oh,
you were doing the where is he?
You're telling me I'm
great to have you
I'm
back.
very happy to have
And
this
Vinny,
voice
great to
back.
see your man bun in full effect.
I say we start
And
off with
your voice is like 87.5%.
I say we start. I'm glad you guys are complimenting each other and flirting, but let's get right into the story. All right, check this out.
Tom.
The story I want to start off with, because I think it's such a warm, fuzzy story, is Barack Obama telling black men it's not acceptable to sit out the election. And in my life, and maybe you've experienced this before as well, maybe you've had the experience of somebody lecturing you or scolding you or telling you what to do as if you're a little boy, and you're 40 years old, you're 30 years old. And here's an example of that happening, and he's sitting there chewing out, upset with black men, and we have a couple clips reacting by black men on how Obama treated and spoke to young black men. Go to black men. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip.
And you're thinking about sitting out? But, you know, because of Putin, you might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Oh, that's what it is.
Oh, so you must be bad.
It's listen, you have to vote like that. You know how disrespectful that is to like just a regular, like just an African American person. That's, first of all, again, I've said this multiple times. She's not African American. She's Jamaican and Indian. Let's put that to the side. But Pat, to basically tell them, because they know that they're not getting the male vote, This is pleading like, hey, like it's your duty. Like you have to. As if they're not seeing what's happening to the country. As if they're not seeing illegals getting brought in here, taking everything that's going to the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand, Tom.
Well, it's condescending because you're speaking to people as if you are entitled.
Yeah.
Obama's speaking to them like, hey, we the Democrats, we're entitled to your vote. We are entitled. And so, you know, Obama there sounds kind of like a annoyed father. And these people are going, wait a minute, man. We may sit this out or we may vote for what we think. He should be getting down to the root of it instead of, oh, maybe you haven't got your head around having a woman vice president. So maybe the problem's you.
Yeah.
And by the way, he started the campaign when he went and spoke at the NC saying, this is not the campaign of scolding each other. This is not the campaign of lecturing each other. Let's be supportive. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh shit, we're behind the 8 ball. No, guys, let's bring out the scolding and the lecturing and making people feel bad about it. And by the way, Rob, if you want to play this clip, here's some people just reacting to him. And, you know, let's see what they have to say to Barack. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, Barack Obama, as a black man, this must be sad, man. Fuck you. Fuck Kamala Harris and fuck the Democratic Party. We vote for Trump, bruh.
This message is for Barack. Ain't never did a fuck ass thing for niggas in the 8 years he was in the White House ever.
Wow.
Obama.
Why'd you play this clip?
Keep black men's name out your motherfucking mouth.
Damn, you can't even talk.
Man, if you want to sit your biscuit head ass down somewhere, goofy looking motherfucker, like Slender Man looking motherfucking ass, like ain't nobody trying to listen to you, bro. You didn't get the memo. The community ain't fucking with you, dog. We ain't fucking with you. We ain't got 2 words for you. Yes, we do. High and by. We are not fucking with you, B.O.
So they sent Obama to come get us and bring us back to the Democratic plantation. He like it. He sent Obama back to come get us. He insulted us. He said, I was highly offended when he said the only reason we voting for Donald Trump is because we don't want a woman in president, so we come up with, yo, nigga, shut up. Shut up.
You can pause.
Democrats. So can I respond to this?
Go ahead.
I've seen a lot of these videos. The best part was when a black guy goes, oh, so Kamala can marry a white man, but I have to vote for a black man? That's how this works? Like, I was like, that's actually a great point right there. So this is the biggest problem that I have with the Democratic Party right now, and it comes down to 2 words. It's identity politics. Imagine if Trump went out there and was like, oh, you're white? If you don't vote for me, sir, then you're not white.
You're not Jewish.
Yeah, or Bernie Sanders. You don't vote for Bernie Sanders, you're not Jewish. This is the problem with politics. This identity politics bullshit is that you're put in a box, and this is how you have to vote. Sorry, you don't have to do anything.
Let me tell you what.
Vote what actually serves you.
Let me tell you what's the worst thing that happens. So I've been in this business of insurance and driving salespeople for a long time. You know what's the worst thing? Is when a guy who, when he was in the game, engaged, driving, gained credibility. Whenever he would have the mic, everybody would be just listening to everything he has to say. And then he lost everybody because it was all about him and it was all about his own stuff. And then he goes and comes back 2-3 years later and he's on the mic speaking. And guess who listens to him? Nobody. It's one of the worst things that happens to someone where you're looking at the reaction you used to get 3 years ago and you're no longer getting. Barack Obama no longer has the magic he used to have with this. He is no longer Magic Mike, Magic Obama.
And you know what? Yeah.
He is officially now down to, I hate to say it, annoying Obama. Not in a way where, by the way, I'd sit down and have a conversation with the guy, and I'm sure he's a fun guy to talk to with sports.
Of course.
I'm sure you'd have he's probably a troller, fun guy when the cameras are not on.
Yeah.
But he no longer, that influence that he used to have with this in 2004 and 2008 and 2012, it is gone. It's almost like if now he's coming and he is now trying to save Kamala. Watch what happens. Do you remember when they used to say, well, look at all the candidates that Trump endorsed for the midterms. He no longer has the weight. He no longer carries that. No one wants him to endorse anymore. They don't want Trump's endorsement because it actually hurts him. Well, guess what? All those people that gaslit those folks, that's now happening to your Jesus, Black Jesus, which is your Obama, for a lot of people in the mainstream media that look at him like that. And he no longer carries the shtick he once used to have. He's just no longer that guy. I commented on one of his posts the other day, and it was like, boom, nonstop messaging coming back. And I said, first of all, Kamala is not who you were in 08.
Period.
Kamala is not who you were in 12. First of all, he is not who he was in 04, 08, or 12. He's just not.
Yeah.
I said, Kamala is the worst candidate you guys have ever chosen. And by the way, these guys had a shot at choosing Josh Shapiro, as a VP. These guys had a shot at picking Pritzker to go up against Trump to say he's a billionaire as a VP. They could have chosen Newsom as a VP. All more qualified, but no, they go after Walz. And by the way, here's what's crazy. This is the craziest part. Barack Obama, respectfully, because I know you're a strategic guy and you're one of the greatest politicians the left has had in many, many years. Here's respectfully. You know she's not even a number one draft pick. You know if there was a primary and if Biden would have said 9 months ago or 12 months ago he's not seeking re-election and there actually was a primary, if Kamala's on stage with Josh Shapiro, with Newsom, with Pritzker, with Whitmer, she may end up last place.
Probably so.
Not even sitting there picking Tim Walz. Like, can you imagine
She did it once.
Yeah, you're Josh Shapiro.
2020, she did come in last
You're
place.
Josh Shapiro. You're like, dude, you picking me as a VP. I would whoop your ass on the stage.
Yeah.
Newsom's like, no, I'm not interested in being your VP. I'm willing to bet Newsom and Pritzker actually said we don't want to be the VP nominees. I'm convinced Newsom didn't want that, and she picks a Walz. But the disappointing thing is that he just doesn't have the credibility anymore. And who are the Democrats going to go to yesterday? I got a call yesterday from a guy from Vanity Fair, and he's asking me about somebody, and he's asking me a question about all these guys. I said, so how do you feel about the fact that, and it was a fair guy. I mean, we'll see how he's going to write the paper when the article comes out. He says, how do you feel about the fact that Trump's going on, now he's saying he's going on
potentially going on
Rogan. He was on Friedman. He was on Schultz. He was on all this stuff. Theo crushed it with Theo. Nelk boys. How do you feel about all this stuff that he's doing now? I said, oh, you're asking it like, is that something wrong? No, I'm just curious. I said, how do you feel that she's going on Colbert? She's going on
Howard Stern, View, Call Her
everybody in Maine. Taylor Swift endorses
Call
this
Her
person,
Daddy.
this and Jay-Z. How do you feel about all those endorsements? How do you feel about that? And the reality is the following. The new era of politics, this is the last season that all of those celebrity rappers, hip-hop musicians endorsing you in the mainstream, this is the last year that strategy is going to be the number one strategy. It can be a top 5 strategy. It is going to have no weight like it did 20 years ago in 2028. It's not going to. Yep. 2028 moving forward, the entire thing is done. The entire thing is done. The whole conversation right now, Rob, if you can pull up the clip, the fact that Joe Rogan is now entertaining having Trump on, right? Is this the other way around. Trump and Rogan spoke. Yeah, is this the one that? Which clip is this, Rob?
This was your original appeance on Joe Rogan.
I love this one, Pat.
This is you guys talk about having
this is the prediction. I was there.
So when you're having Trump on?
I don't know.
Okay, the look.
I don't know. Maybe.
Looks like you got something.
Maybe.
Okay, good. That's good. I think that's.
Look, at a certain point in time, it's just like. It would be interesting to hear his perspective on a lot of things. I would like to know, what is it like when you actually get into office? I would like to know things like what is it like versus perception?
Yeah.
What is it actually like when you get in that building? Like what are you greeted with?
So
when do you know that people are fucking with you?
By the way, you can.
When do you know that?
FYI, and I told him this. I said, just so you know, if you don't think you need to be sitting down with Trump, the episode that I sold you to the best of my abilities, where he thought, I'm like, don't even go live with the video, that you and I spoke about you interviewing Trump. I said, you know what number it was? I said, go look at it. You know what number it was? It was episode 2016.
No.
Go do this, Rob. Go to Spotify, type in Bet David and Rogan. Okay, let's see if it comes up. Okay, then maybe just go. You have. Well, can you put Bet David together? Because that looks like, just put Bet David together. Yeah, don't put a space. Go there. Okay, then just take that and go to Google. Maybe it's harder on Spotify. Search engine doesn't work. Go put it on Google and type in, go to images. Yes, go to images. Go to images, Rob. That's the first one we did.
Right there.
What number? Look at that.
2016.
What are the chances of the episode that we talk about Trump? Sometimes God's going to whisper to you in the most unique way. He's going to say, hey,
Boom.
This is episode 2016.
Wow.
You got to talk to this guy. So now Trump is being asked on, Rob, if I'm not mistaken, on Nelk Boys, which, by the way, Kyle's going to do something. This guy, he's got something very attractive about himself. Their crew, Steiny, all these guys, I just like these guys. Go ahead and play this clip.
You're doing a lot of podcasts recently. One that I would love to see you on is, I think Joe Rogan has to have you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Oh, sure I would.
I think Joe, like, besides us, Joe's
I think I'm doing it, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you are going to do Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I am.
Joe Rogan's the best in the game, for sure. And I think, you know...
Did Joe become so well known because of the UFC? And he does a great job with that, right? What was it that made Joe the best?
During COVID, you know, he was very outspoken on all the corruption going on during COVID. And I think that's personally when I started watching him a lot, too. And just, he's an honest guy, too, right?
He is.
So I think...
Good guy.
Good guy. And I think you guys together would just
And he's got a good voice. That's important.
Yeah. You're doing a lot of podcasts recently.
Right.
And he said UFC, too. He's like, the UFC, he's...
So, by the way, if it happens, don't you owe these guys money?
Yeah, no, I'll owe Vinny money.
Well,
I owe. Listen,
let's just clarify. Quick clarify.
Has he paid his debt?
Hold on.
He
all debts are going to be paid. Listen to me. Listen to me.
We're going to turn this into a joke.
All debts are going to be paid on the election day of, in front of everybody.
Okay.
Whoever it is.
You know,
is everyone okay with
but
that?
do you have the tally? Mine's going to be...
I would actually like to give you $500 because I would like to see...
that's where you're wrong.
Trump,
it's 600 because it's
listen,
100.
Oh, by the way, but what was the bet?
No.
The bet was he said it'll never happen. You said it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
500 I said it's going to happen, and then I bet 100 he wanted to do more.
I owe him
that
1,000.
Biden was going to be the presidential nominee.
Listen, it takes money to make money,
It's
guys.
funny, you know, Adam. It's funny. The American in you knows you owe me $1,000, and you admit it. The Jewish guy in you won't let you pay it. So I'm just kind of wishing that maybe.
You can always count on Tom for a nice Jewish joke. Thanks, you, buddy. But I remember being in the Joe Rogan experience when Vinny, you'll remember this.
Yeah.
You were there. You were nice enough to take Vinny and I on this trip. You were sitting, Joe gave us this awesome tour of this ridiculous studio with the shooting and the thing and the workout and the big American flag. And then all of a sudden, Joe goes, "Let's go, Pat. You go in that room." And Vinny and I are sitting there with this security team, basically, like 3 Navy SEALs, Green Berets, absolute
guys.
studs.
Yeah, awesome.
And we're sitting there, and Pat, we hear him go, "So when are you going to have Rogan on?" And everyone just starts looking. When are you going to have Trump on? Sorry. To Rogan, when are you going to have Trump on? Everyone's like, "What? What's going on here?" The guys were all in because they've seen so many conversations. They've seen so many interesting people come in and out. This was a situation they were like, whoa, now they're engaged, we're engaged. Joe Rogan was like, what did he put you up to this? What was that? Yeah. That was August.
It's so funny because
early August, so almost a little over a year ago.
Early? I don't know when it was. Was it early?
August 2nd, 2023.
Okay, so there you go. Well, anyways, I can tell you, I can't wait for it. And I'm looking forward to watching it, them two together. I think it's going to be a very unique conversation. Yesterday we had Graham Hancock here, who just flew in from Austin, and great name. I told him he's got a Hollywood name. And he said Joe is one of the greatest conversationalists of all time. And I think it's absolutely hard to disagree with that. This guy is one of a kind. And you can have 20 different people. There's certain people in the marketplace that you know how they're going to interview. You just know how they're going to interview. It's like, okay, that's a ChatGPT interview. That's an interview that's going to be silly. This is an interview that's going to be lightweight. Then you're going to be like, I'm looking forward to Trump talking to him. I'm looking forward to him talking to him. And I'm looking forward to him talking to Joe. I can't wait to see that conversation take place, which is going to be exciting. We'll be all tuning in.
Chances at this point that it's happening. What are the odds? Percentage?
Him and Joe?
Trump and
Rogan.
Rogan.
Let me. Musk said it's going to happen. Trump said it's going to happen. If Joe doesn't do it, he will have a lot of backlash on how it'll happen. I don't think it's going to.
I agree with you.
99% chance.
You're there 99?
I'm at 99 too. But my question to you, Pat, because you mentioned it. I know this is a rumor from Reuters, but let me explain something to you. If for some way
What's the
reason
rumor? What are you
Kamala going on Joe Rogan,
Oh, I don't see that happening at all.
Well, I'm saying
Kamala will get
the rumors
exposed
are
by
exposed,
Rogan.
but you know what? She might have special earrings. She might have a Neuralink on.
I don't
she might
care
have
if she's got earrings,
she might
headsets,
have. She might have cue cards.
walkie-talkies
JD
blowing
Vance
up. It's
talked
not
about her
happening.
earrings.
JD Vance even talked about her earrings to Sage Steele. He was like, "Yeah, maybe
everybody
she has
thought
earrings."
that me and Vinny were out there on Mars or something.
By the way-
Those earrings, people are talking about.
How many views do you think it gets if it does? Over under 10 million within the first couple weeks.
No. It's going to be over 10. And the only reason he won't hit the 50 million mark is because he's been doing a lot of them lately.
That's my point.
So the market is on
all
overdrive.
saturated.
Yeah. So that's the only thing. But again, will there be a clip that could go? Yes. Could there be a clip that goes viral? Yeah. Is this the earring thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead and play this. Tom's going to like this.
I did want to point this out. JD Vance has no idea what these questions are, what the topics are. No idea. We didn't tell him beforehand. There's no big in his ear, no cute earrings. There's nothing like that. So I'm just reminding everybody that this is all organic, okay?
I left my Bluetooth earrings at home, so.
That is hilarious.
I think it's a joke.
All right.
That is hilarious.
Sage set it up.
Yeah, but my point being, Pat, there's absolutely. And I'm going to your
You're
point.
saying that she won't do it or Rogan won't
I'm
do
saying,
it?
Rogan would drool to have that. What I'm saying is, do you think Kamala? Hold on, raw dog, meaning no earphones, no assistants, nobody.
You actually said raw dog.
Raw dog. Well, I'm old school. So, by the way, if they sit there together, PBD with no assistants, because you're not going to be in that room.
And by the way, the story says, the Reuters story says, and the rumor mill. I'm not telling you it's true or not. The rumor mill is they asked him to send questions, and Joe's team said, "This is a podcast. This is not an interview."
Great.
So that's the thing when you're doing these types of things. And anytime people ask me for questions, I'm like, "What do we like?" It's a conversation.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're just. I said we're having a conversation. Well, so he's not gonna agree to send a list of questions.
Period.
Not at this phase. Well, you know what it does tell you? Here's what it tells you. She's about to go on Brett Baer to do Fox.
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, if Brett does to her what she did to Trump, it's going to be a very good interview. Remember what he did with Trump when he said, "Here's what all your former swamp people said. Here's what he said about you. Here's what he said about you. Here's what she said." And he went on for 2 minutes. And it was a tough interview that Brett Baer did. He's not a guy that's going to do a lightweight interview. If Brett's really not going to take the questions that say they send, and he's going to do a raw dog type of interview that you're talking about, if that's what's going to be the case, great. It'll be good. But for her to go to Rogan and do it, it's because they're desperate and they're behind the 8 ball. It's that simple.
I think that's the big angle there, Pat. They are desperate and they are behind the 8 ball, but every one of her media encounters has been managed. These are managed media encounters. If you want the interview on your network to get your views, and yes, I want the publicity, but if you want that to get your ad dollars, then you will cooperate, and these will be the questions, or we'll never be here again. They do this with actors and actresses when they go on The Tonight Show talking about a movie, and they say, "Do not talk about my recent divorce. We won't come on here again." And the studio says, "We will boycott you, Jimmy Kimmel. There's other places we can go." So that happens all the time. She is living in a managed world, and walking over into the podcast or into the unscripted sit down, across the glass table that they do on CNN and they do on Fox very effectively. If Fox agrees to it and Brett seems subdued, I will lose a lot of respect for Fox because it means that they chose the ad dollars and maybe they went along with a certain amount of questions and they said, but we can put this question, that question. But she's been living in a managed world. And if she walks over into an unscripted world, it's death.
Well, here's some numbers for you real quick because I said this the other day. I said, by the way, every time she talks, her numbers go down. She's been on this media tour between Howard Stern, between Call Her Daddy, between The View, and her numbers in September, she was up 49-44. Don't look now, fourth quarter, October here, and it's basically a tie ball game, and Trump is now the favorite. A month ago, she was the favorite. She got the sugar high with all that. But every time she's talking, that people start to learn more about her, they're like, yeah, I don't think she's very qualified for this. Regardless of how you feel about Trump, I get it. There's a personality issue there. But the difference is he at least has more of a policy perspective than she has, according to what you're seeing out there. But because her numbers are going down so much, here's the point. He has Obama go out there. And what didn't work with Obama with black men? Here's some stats for you. So he tried to chastise them. It didn't work. He tried to lecture them. It didn't work. He tried to shame them. It didn't work. And now, follow the money. They're trying to bribe black men with 3 weeks to go with the election. Have you seen what these numbers are? They're basically saying, all right, we're going to give black men specifically $1 million of forgivable business loans. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to start a business.
I think it was $20,000 of forgivable business loans.
$1 million of forgivable business loans. Check it. Because it's the opportunity. Tom. There it is right there, Tom. You just got fact checked. Boom. Because it's the opportunity economy.
It's 1 million forgivable loans, not $1 million or $20,000 loans.
That's what I said,
but there's
Tom.
a million of them.
You just got re-fact checked, homie.
The point is, they're trying to they're trying to Tom, thank you. They're trying to bribe black men. Here's another thing.
I'll be over here if you need me.
They're regulating crypto.
Yeah.
They're promoting black men as teachers. By the way, 75% of teachers are women. And then here's the coup de grace. Now, all of a sudden, she's supporting legalizing marijuana. Isn't she the person that was basically notorious for locking up black men in
17
California?
states are ahead of you, Kamala.
There's 3 weeks left. And if you're a black man in America, you're like, all right. You're trying to tell me that it took 3 weeks before the election to actually give a shit about us? And the numbers actually aren't helping about them, because for black women, Kamala's up 83 to 11. For black men, she's up 68 to 24, meaning Trump has 24% of the black male vote, whereas he only has 11%. So there's a clear gender divide, whether it's white, whether it's black. In the whites, Trump, as far as men, overall up 16. Kamala's up 14. This 30-point swing total overall is the highest ever on record. If you want to find something in this election, it's really men versus women. It's childless cat ladies versus the working men.
I think the African American, if you're going to say it like Trump, African American, those numbers, bro, I'm seeing it from friends that I know, and just the vibe from all the videos from everybody. That number is I think it's off. I think there's more people that are waking up and not buying into that BS Barack Obama, who came in with yes we can and change and didn't do nothing. He played that whole race card like he was going to be the savior. Remember, people Pat would come on and be like, women were crying on election day, inauguration, when they're like, he's gonna pay my rent. Didn't do any of that. My question to you is, Pat, I know we want to move on. The Brett Baer Fox thing. Do you think they're going to, some way, somehow, either give her the questions, because ABC whistleblower said, I know ABC's left, but they gave her all the questions and, blah, blah, blah. There have to be some type of, game that they're going to have to play.
It depends. And here's what I mean by it depends, okay? And Tom, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. By the way, both of you guys are right. It's 1 million fully forgivable loans of up to $20,000. So it's not a $1 million forgivable loan. It's a $1,020,000, which ends up becoming.
I stand corrected.
Which ends up becoming $20 billion. It's a lot of money. So anyway,
the point is, they're bribing.
No, you're right. But let me go back to it.
It's a big bribe. You're right about the bribe.
Let me go back to it. So to me, the reason why it could be different, a Brett Baer interview, if Brett is reaching out to Kamala, they say, send us your questions. But if Kamala's reaching out to Brett says, I'll do without any questions. So who called who? That's what it's about.
That's the question.
So if she wants to be on Rogan ain't sending no questions.
Hell
to
no.
you. Not at all.
No.
But it's at a point right now that I think she needs to go everywhere, because everywhere, and I'm telling you, everywhere. She needs to go everywhere. If she doesn't, she will not win the way the numbers are looking today. Everybody's a little bit hesitant about stating, hey, this is going to be a landslide, and this is going to be a this, and this is going to be a that. And people are worried about saying something like that, because in 2020, it was like, oh my God, what is going to happen? What is this and what is that? Let me show you what just came out yesterday. Rob, I'm going to send this to you. If you could please play this. If you could please play this and show what this isn't. What I'm sharing with you right now. This isn't. We're not talking Fox News. We're not talking any of that stuff. We're talking CNN. She is the worst performing candidate against black men ages 18 to 44. The worst. Watch this. Look at this. Play this.
And make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see?
Look at that.
You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won.
By the way, you know what the let him move a little bit. Let him move a little bit if you can. Let him just
so you can see
play.
Back in November of 2012, and this I think is
pause right there. Check this out. You know all of this. Unfortunately, this makes Kamala look bad, but 100%, 80% of all of this falls on Obama.
Yep.
Because look what the fall started. It started with Obama. You made promises. You didn't do anything for the black community. And the Democrats could potentially lose millions of black voters for decades to come, similar to what happened with Barry Goldwater. This is the Democrats' Barry Goldwater moment that they're internally afraid of. Keep playing this clip.
I have thoughts on that.
Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men. He made it seem like it was a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of a long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest
shaking to the
face that magnitude.
Look at who's looking at
black men.
Get him off.
Get rid of him. What's most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happen or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture, you know. We're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall. Again, part of a similar trend, but here actually the drop-off isn't as dramatic, right? Barack Obama won him by 85. Then you see 71 with Clinton, 69. Biden, basically the same thing, holding steady. But here, again, very, very weak. Only a 54-point margin. Now, again, still winning him by a large margin, but considerably lower than what we're used to. Certainly considerably lower what we had during the Obama years. The bottom line is Kamala Harris with younger black men and then black men overall putting in historically weak performance for a Democrat.
Is she getting any relief with black
women? He just did.
So, you know, we're talking about the trend line, right? And black women, look, she's doing better with black women than she is doing among black men.
Still.
But here, there isn't a trend line almost until we get to Kamala Harris. So, again, this is a black margin among black women.
Wow.
Look, Obama won him by 93, very large margin. Clinton won him by 93, a very large margin. Biden did a little bit worse at 85. But then you look here, and you get a 71-point margin. Now, again, these are large margins, but the bottom line is when you're talking about the base of the...
You get the idea. Vinny, do you know how behind closed doors, where Kamala is not around, not when Kamala is around, think about it, Tom. Kamala's not around. Obama is in a meeting with who? Put Schumer, put Pelosi, who else you put in that room? Not Biden, maybe Clinton's at this point.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure
they're in that room.
DePodesta on speakerphone.
Oh, for sure.
What do you think they're saying with Kamala? What can we do at this point to save?
Yeah.
Who is their Elon Musk? Who is the Elon Musk that can save him? Zuck is out. He helped you in 2020. He's out. Who's your Elon Musk to save you right now? Barack Obama's message and words is not falling. It's not being received.
That's right. They do not have...
Who's their Musk today, Tom?
There's no Superman. There is no bat phone. There's no light in the sky. And Clinton comes out and says, well, you know, let me go rouse up the crowds.
Nothing's
Clinton
working.
was able to do that after he left office. He was able to do that. But Obama didn't want Clintons because Hillary wanted the job.
I know. I love it.
But when you say, and by the way, speaking of Surrogate Clinton here goes to Georgia yesterday and was zero help. As a matter of fact, he was negative.
And by the way,
play the clip. Watch this. This is him.
We playing it?
Rob, we
The
can't
audio?
hear it.
Start it again, Rob.
Can't hear Rob.
Can't hear it, Rob.
It's playing on my end. That's the guys in the back.
Guys.
Guys.
Okay.
Saying you got a case.
Maybe
in Georgia.
go on a clip. Maybe go on Twitter and find a clip because I can't hear it. So if you go on Twitter and go to one of them, you can put you put Clinton, Riley.
While they're pulling it up, Pat, Clinton is a surrogate. They've called the bat phone, and this is the best they got.
Well, and think about it. While he's pulling this up, I'm just not to shift topics. Back to what you were saying about Obama. I think there's actually three things that are happening right now. Just real quick. Yes, it's on Obama because there's basically a sentiment. It's like, what did Obama actually do to help black people?
Nothing.
You know, they might say, well, Obamacare
didn't work.
I would say that maybe he helped the LGBT community more than he helped black people.
Yes, he
did. The second thing is I think there's a general assessment from most people that are like the Democratic Party, because all it takes is one election. They talked about the Barry Goldwater election, whatever it was. All it takes is one election for people to be like, what? I'm out. And I think that election is happening in 2024 with the current state of the Democratic Party, the DEI, woke agenda, LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
But don't discount probably the most important thing, and that is Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, you know, the mugshot, I love the blacks, whatever. There's definitely a sentiment of people like, yo, I wasn't a Trump guy in 2016, but I'm riding with Trump right now. But here's the moment where he actually needs to kick in, because if Trump wins or loses, and next time the candidate is a J.D. Vance or a DeSantis, I think that numbers goes down. I think Vivek, black people will more identify with him. But I think this is the chance, this election right here, where the Republicans reverse the trend.
Okay, go ahead and play this clip. This is Bill Clinton trying to help Kamala, and it backfires. Go ahead, Rob. Oh, okay.
I think his voice is just very low. If they were properly vetted, it wouldn't have happened, is what he said.
If they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up. So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work. There wouldn't be a problem. And he couldn't keep people all torn up and upset.
Right, Tom, thoughts on this?
Well, he goes, I think he spoke from the heart, and I think he spoke truthfully. Mm-hmm. I actually think that there was no spin. I think that Bill Clinton believes everything he just said. It's aligned, but that message in the bright light of day is not a message that's going to help Kamala Harris's campaign. The surrogates are out, and Obama's ineffective. You know, Clinton is speaking truth. Hillary is nowhere to be seen. And doesn't it seem kind of weird, Pat, like over the last weekend, Saturday Night Live went out. Look at all the places that went out. And Kamala was suddenly going from like 100% of media support. Suddenly she's going to not quite 100% of media support. And there's a lot of people taking the gloves off. But the surrogates didn't help. And Bill Clinton spoke the truth.
And we don't have to see it, Pat, because he's kind of saying the same thing in the video I sent to Rob. He said, we need illegal aliens because Americans' birth rate is declining. So think about the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party, right? They want to enshrine the ability to kill unborn babies, but then they complain that we have a declining birth rate, so they want to import men from other countries to impregnate our women. Does that make sense to anybody? No, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you talking about?
I actually see what you're saying right here, where they're so super pro-abortion and women's reproductive rights.
Yes.
But at the same time,
they're complaining that we don't have enough babies.
Clinton,
unbelievable.
It's a shame to see what happened with Bill Clinton, because the 90s were amazing. But he did say the quiet part out loud, where he said, listen, you know, Lake and Riley, they didn't vet her, and he shouldn't have been in the legal immigrant, and he killed her. But there is true that we're having the exact opposite of a baby boom. We're having a baby bust. People aren't having enough kids. So they're actually basically saying, maybe this is part of the agenda. Just let as many people in here, because we need people to take care of all the old people.
Let me tell you, if we're staying on this topic, Rob, play this clip by Milton Friedman from many years ago. Milton Friedman, to me, I got a painting of my house. It's got multiple characters in it. MLK, Milton Friedman, the Shah, John F. Kennedy. Rob, I just text you the clip if you can pull it up.
Senna,
Lincoln,
Tupac.
Ayrton Senna, Tupac, and I think that's it, right? Myself in it. And Milton Friedman said this about illegal immigration that's been going viral lately. I want you to watch this. Watch how he explains it. This is, in my opinion, probably the greatest economist we've had in the last 60 years. Go ahead, Rob.
For example, at the obvious, immediate, practical case of illegal Mexican immigration. Now, that Mexican immigration over the border is a good thing.
Listen.
It's a good thing for the illegal immigrants. It's a good thing for the United States. It's a good thing for the citizens of the country. But it's only good so long as it's illegal.
Did you get it?
That's an interesting paradox to think about. Make it legal, and it's no good. Why?
Why is that?
Because as long as it's illegal, the people who come in do not qualify for welfare. They don't qualify for Social Security. They don't qualify for all the other myriads of benefits that we pour out from our left pocket into our right pocket.
To us, meaning to us.
And so as long as they don't qualify, they migrate to jobs. They take jobs that most residents of this country are unwilling to take. They provide employers with workers of a kind they cannot get. They're hard workers, they're good workers, and they are clearly better off.
Wow. How are you processing that, Pat? Because
well, listen, to me, there is the key word he says is what? What's the key word? Mexican illegal immigrants. He didn't say illegal immigrants that are coming that are former whatever, right? He's specific being to Mexicans. Remember the year he's saying this. This is probably going to be in the 80s, 70s. Yeah. So to me, I think he is trying to troll the audience that is for it, but also at the same time trying to make a point that what these guys are trying to do with these illegal immigrants coming here, they're trying to do what? They're trying to fully legalize them and document them, right? To allow them to vote and do other things. There is an element of his argument that is true. The moment that becomes a problem is that. Now, for security purposes and breaking the law, you're breaking the law, period. And if you're breaking the law, if the rest of us break the law, we go to jail, but the illegal immigrants cross the border, they break the law, they're okay? I mean, that's the slippery slope of what Milton Friedman is saying, but there is a very unique argument in there. Go ahead.
I do agree that Milton Friedman is arguably the best economist we've had in the last 50, 100 years. Thomas Sowell, possibly in that mix as well. But very interesting what he said about, and juxtaposing it with, Mexico, they're not sending their best. And the reality was in the 70s and 80s, it was majority of Mexicans. And did you see what Dana White said about Mexicans? Because the best compliment you could ever give a Mexican is that you fight like a Mexican. They're like, hell yeah. Dana White said that. But the fact that he said that they don't qualify for benefits, they just basically work. We don't have to give them welfare. We don't have to basically take care of them. Juxtapose that with what's happened over the last 4 years in this administration. Hotels, credit cards, prepaid cards.
Assaulting cops and walking out of jail.
Just benefits galore. So, and it's not just Mexicans. It's everyone from Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador. You saw that Trump call out Nayib Bukele is like, yeah, I'd have a low crime too if you kept all the MS-13 here. But now we have Azerbaijani, we have Iranians, we have Chinese. We have people come from all over the country just basically running through the southern border with no one stopping them like it's go long, touchdown, nobody's playing cover 2 defense out here. So what's changed is Milton Friedman specifically was talking about Mexicans. Now everybody can come in the country and get whatever you want from the federal government and the cities and states.
Tom, your thoughts?
Milton Friedman's making a very interesting point. If you dive into it, one of the things that I find really nasty is, worker exploitation. And the agriculture industry has had a long history of taking the illegals and paying them very, very meager wages and accepting them and to work the fields. And that is not the best, outcome. And I think these people need to be minimum wage is minimum wage. And if you come here legally and you're looking for a job and
but specific to the illegal, Tom, I'm asking you what you think about what Milton Friedman said.
I think he was trying to he's right. And he was, I believe, I agree with you. He was trying to bait the question to the other side. And at the end of it, when he was talking about taking jobs other people won't take, that's what I'm commenting on, is that he's specifically talking about, specifically in California, the agriculture industry.
There's some abuse there. You're right. And we know some people that used to do that, Bakersfield, some other places that are with us, doing very good for themselves right now. You know the stories that I'm talking about. But I just think it's an interesting angle that he's taken. And by the way, Rob, has Kamala been doing any kind of speaking lately? And if she has, how has she been performing? If you have any clips to show us, I think there was she on the trail?
She's crushing it.
Go ahead, Rob.
This is her with Roland Martin yesterday.
Okay, cool. Let's see this.
There's this whole, I talked with somebody once who said, if you just look at where the stars are in the sky, don't look at them as just random things. If you just look at them as points, look at the constellation, what does it show you? So you just outlined it, Roland. What does it show you?
What the hell is she talking about?
Did he respond?
Is this are you joking? Or
No,
is it-
that's a clip that's going around today as she talks about constellations and trying to provide policies for black voters to make their lives better.
What is she even? Oh my God.
Okay, so Rob, I almost stepped away from the podcast watching that. Forget about the viewers that are listening to this. I almost myself went upstairs and just smoked a cigar. But anyways, let's continue. That was
your old buddy, Roland Martin.
Yeah, Roland is I got a couple guys that would love to debate Roland Martin. Roland's just got to agree to come. By the way, quick shout out to this account called Not PBD. Go to Twitter. Man, I got to tell you, whoever's behind this, I'm still trying to find out. I asked a bunch of guys here local. So there's this account that's literally says Not PBD. But if you look at the tweet, it says Patrick Bet-David, CEO of Valuetainment. And the parody is so at the end that people think this is me.
Of course.
And they don't read offering one-way trip to Iran for anyone who thinks America's not the greatest country in the world. Now watch this. Keep going. Let me tell you what some of the stuff he's posted. Zoom out a little bit. This one, Secret Service rushes Trump off the stage after he falls at the rally. He says, I don't usually use these words, but FCNN, right? And this thing goes viral. Go to the next. Keep going what he posts. He's just so funny. Keep going. So this one here, even your audience agrees with me that you're an idiot.
Krasenstein.
Which one is this? I'm voting for Kamala Harris because you're an idiot. Okay. Keep going, Lord. So this is Mark. Apparently he got Mark Cuban to block him.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so go down and
when I saw that, I thought that Mark Cuban actually blocked
Go
you.
lower, Rob. Keep going, Lord, to the part where he posted a picture about Mark Cuban. Keep going. Keep going. That's not the one. Keep going, Lord, Rob. Keep going, lower. It's about to come up in about 3. Boom, boom, right there. So he posts this. Let me see what he says. He says, whatever it takes to be the head of SEC and go after Elon.
Unbelievable.
So
such an ugly woman.
That's what got him blocked. And then go back up to the top, go all the way to the top, where he posts unblocked on the first one. Keep going right there. And by the way, go on the comment section of this one, Rob, if you could. Zoom out a little bit on the comment. Cardone says he thinks he's the only one who knows anything. Everyone else is an idiot. And the moment you push back, and the guy has the balls to call Elon Musk thin skin. Keep going, Laura. I hurt his feelings. Okay, what's that one? Such a shame. What's that one? It's so bad.
Hilarious.
Zoom out a little bit. It's so bad when people stand in front of.
It's so bad.
This one was good, yeah.
Go back, Rob.
Dude, this guy's hilarious.
This guy is.
And you have no clue who he is?
I have no.
This is not PBD. Is what you're saying.
Do you think he walks around and tells people like, "Hey, do you know what PBD is?" And they go, "Yeah." He's like,
but by the way,
I'm not him.
The parody accounts out there for everybody. I fell for AOC's first parody.
I
if you don't remember that.
She was furious.
Fake Elon, Elon's account all the time.
But the way this guy's done it, I'm telling you, on tweets, you can't tell it's not me because it says Patrick Bet-David, CEO of Valuetainment, parodies all the way, and nobody ever looks at the handle that says
nobody.
Pat,
ever.
I'm offended. It's a parody.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone knows that.
To whoever it is, Jennifer says, should this be allowed to be up there? I'm like, look, Elon likes trolling and he likes memes, so it is what it is. Yeah. But anyways, shout out to all the parody accounts out there. You're very entertaining.
Parody.
You are very entertaining. Let me continue going with this thing here. I'm going to go to the next story. Starbucks. Tom, what is going on? By the way, Tom walked in today. First of all, are you okay if I share what happened?
Go ahead.
So Tom walks in today, and everybody's like, did you hear what happened? Did you hear what happened? They're like, did you hear what happened? Tom walks in, and I don't know who it was with. 7:30 in the morning, we have this coffee machine in the back. Takes a sip out of the coffee, apparently, gets pissed, throws it against the wall. Vinny's coming out of the bathroom. It got your, was it your neck?
My neck is
gets his,
still
we even
burning.
said it at the same time. Gets his neck.
I'm all right.
And
Tom.
I'm like getting these texts, man. I'm like, okay, these guys are trying to mess with me. They're definitely trying to troll me the other way around. Tom's pissed. Why? Because this announcement came out. Starbucks is reportedly pulling back on discounts. And Tom wasn't happy about it. So let me just read both of these.
I have third-degree burns now.
Just to not piss you off, I'm going to read these two stories and hand it over to you. First story is, get ready to pay more for Starbucks. So that's already very frustrating to Tom. The chain has been offering a series of discounts over the past year, attempted to lure back customers like Tom Ellsworth, but the Wall Street Journal reports that the new CEO, Brian Niccol, is ending that practice, opting to return to positioning as premium brand. Starbucks, for much of its history, resisted efforts to offer deals, relying on its product and seasonal drinks to bring in customers, but repeated price increases and inflation began to chew away at the loyalty of those regular, forcing the company to offer everything from extra loyalty points to discount. Over the summer, for example, the coffee chain introduced a new pairing menu, which gives customers the ability to pair a tall, hot, or iced tea coffee with some staple foods, including a butter croissant or breakfast sandwich for $5 or $6. Starbucks told Fortune, we can confirm that WSJ piece is accurate. Tom.
So this guy comes in and he's got to fix it, right?
First of all, do you want to apologize since like right now we're together?
Tom, like I know this is going to be a permanent mark on my neck because you're just angry.
I'm sorry I threw the coffee at you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
It's okay. But it was 7-Eleven coffee.
What?
I would never waste Starbucks.
Okay.
Oh,
So here's what's going on. So, Brian Niccol brought in, a very sharp guy, comes from a career of success.
Chipotle.
Yeah. He has a thankless job. The first thing he's got to do is decide what button does he push first. And Starbucks is DEI. Starbucks has been, we have talked about baristas that would wear, political buttons and things from only one side, and it would insult the other side. It's taking forever. They've lost their mojo. And also the prices, we're moving a lot. So he comes in and says, what button am I going to push? And the first thing he's saying is like, look, all these discounts are confusing, and these discounts get away from the fact I think we make really good coffee, and we want to make that coffee faster. So he was doing three things. First thing he said, no more discounts. So we're not just going to use the discount thing to bring you into Walmart, like 10 cents for 20 rolls of paper towels. As you see at Walmart, they put all those things out there. They're trying to bring you in to buy other stuff. He's like, we're not doing that. We're going to pull back on these discounts. Second thing he said, I want to get more training and equipment for the baristas because I have personally gone into certain Starbucks and he was seeing it was taking 20 minutes. I don't go there a lot. That's why everybody's teasing me here because I've kind of pulled back a little bit on my support for Starbucks. But Vinny, when you go into a Starbucks, like anytime between 7:30 and 9, you're not there for 4 minutes to pick up a coffee.
No, there's a line.
And there's a big line. Yeah. And then there's a crowd of people making small talk, waiting for someone to mispronounce your name, indicating that your drink's ready.
Yeah.
And so he's like, that doesn't work. There's too much of that. Because they also found out that their PBD, this is funny, they put their app in place. Mm-hmm. Their app was messing up their in-store experience. Because if you look at how many drinks would be sitting out there from all the people ordered with their apps, we're all running in, grabbing two of them, and the guy in line is like, hey, Vinny, what are you doing? You walk inside. So Vinny's there waiting 20 minutes for his drink. I run in and grab my two. And they're probably not hot anymore, right?
Yeah.
So Nichols is coming back and saying, we're going to get this and we're going to get it right. So I applaud that. I applaud what he's doing. But at the same time, they're about to take some serious heat. So Nichols trying to do the right thing. Value, no discounts, get people's coffee faster and make the in-store experience a little bit better, and have a little bit of maybe we just paid Ritz-Carlton to do a great.
Tom, what is this other story that says how Starbucks became a sugary team emporium from Bloomberg? What's going on there?
Here's the problem.
Uh-oh.
So Starbucks is trying to get people, and a lot of adults have been balking at the $6 latte. That's a lot of money, $6, right? And Dunkin' Donuts is a lot less than that. There's quality coffee. So what have they been going after? All of those refreshers and things. They've been pushing really, really hard, and now they got kids coming in. Believe it or not, they are seeing incredible foot traffic at 3 in the afternoon. Why 3? Kids are out of school. And they're coming in here getting venti, strawberry, acai lemonade, refresher. But there's a problem with that. Hey, Vinny, how many grams of sugar in a can of Coke?
39 grams.
That's correct. And how many calories are in a can of Coke?
200?
140.
140. Oh,
do you know what's in that venti, strawberry, acai lemonade?
How much?
48 grams of sugar and 210 calories.
Got it.
And
so
they
a little
say
fatty.
Yes, a little fatty, right? For kids, do kids have a diabetes problems right now?
Yeah.
Probably nothing to speak of.
Yeah, well, actually, about 352,000 Americans under the age of 20 are estimated to have diagnosed diabetes. That's 0.35% of the population.
And you take a look at these kids, so they're not out on the playground. So now Starbucks is having to fight this because this is about staring them in the face because parents are giving their kids cards, and so the kids are not price sensitive. Mom, you need to reload my Starbucks card. Or they take the Starbucks card and they put it into the phone. And so now the Starbucks card is effectively in the phone. And so now they're taking heat on this. So Nichols got his work cut out from him. But I think the bigger story is all of these sugary drinks are coming up. Starbucks was, remember, they were DEI and they were green
healthy
and they
food.
were healthy and all this stuff. And, and then some good things, trying to give health benefits for workers, at $10 an hour worker.
Now it's diabetes.
Now he's out there selling
Adam.
drinks to kids that are more sugar than a can of Coke.
Yeah. Number one, I think Starbucks is overrated. Number two, make coffee at home, save that money. Number three, it's very interesting to talk about the diabetes in the kids right now. And if you see what RFK is doing, and he's basically taken over the MAGA thing and he's calling it MAHA. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. And if you just go back to 1960 something, you can go draw a straight line to when JFK gave a speech and he's like, I don't want to see our kids turn into fat, sloppy little kids. You ever seen that clip? Where basically he's like, let's stay away. Here's the hat. He's talking about make America healthy again. Whether it's Starbucks, whether it's Dunkin' Donuts, whether it's
meatloaf. It's like
meatloaf.
You should put like a meatloaf on.
There it is. That's
meatloaf.
True. I love this.
Yeah.
Clip that.
I never know what she does back there.
The reality is, our kids are getting fatter. Testosterone is going down.
Funerals.
I fully agree that we need to get the meatloaf because when people go to funerals, it's just like all the mixture of emotions.
Yeah, let me go to the next story. All right, so the next story is the end of cheap burger, okay? This is from Bloomberg. And this is fast food burgers have surged in price with the average cost of a fast food burger hitting $8.41 in mid-2024, up 16% from 2019. McDonald's Big Mac now costs $5.29 and 21% rise over 5 years as a U.S. cattle herd shrinks to a 73-year low, down 15% since 2019. Beef prices are also soaring with ground beef reaching $5.58 per pound in August, driven by droughts and high interest rates. The beef production cycle is long and costly, taking up to 5 years from breeding to market, and current cattle numbers aren't expected to recover soon. JBS, the world's largest meat processor, notes a 15% drop in young female cows sent to slaughter, but doesn't anticipate a full recovery until 2026. Tyson Food reported in August that current data doesn't support herd rebuilding yet, signaling sustained high prices, which Daryl Peel of Oklahoma State University warns may not fall until close to 2030. Wow, Tom.
So here's what's happening. Fast food is getting more expensive, and one of the staples of fast food in America has been the burger. And so here's what the burger chains are having to do. They're having to buy the lowest quality beef so they can get the best price on it, so they can still afford to make the Big Mac. The national average price in a fast food, now this is Five Guys, this is In-N-Out, this is everybody, for a quarter pound burger was $8.41, national average price. So when McDonald's is out there trying to sell that Big Mac for $5.29, they're either doing it as a loss leader, because that's just the Big Mac. You buy the Big Mac deal, it's more, and you get the French fries and the soda. So what's happening also is America is going to, two things. America is on a necessary shift to chicken, because it takes 40 days to make a chicken. You know how long it takes to make a cow? 42 months. 42 months to grow a cow before you slaughter it. It only takes 40 days to grow a chicken. And so which is faster, which takes less, resources to do. And you've got now, it's almost become delicacy where there are high-end farms now that are making like Neiman Ranch.
Grass-fed.
Like Neiman Ranch. You can get there's these Neiman burgers. You ever heard of Neiman burgers?
No.
N-I-E-M-A-N. You can go look them up. The Neiman burgers are showing up at like beer pubs. They're showing up at the place we used to go in Dallas at all the taps. Yard House.
Yard House.
Can I say one thing here,
You can
Tom?
go find a Neiman burger, but they're $17. So there is a necessary shift because fast food's not getting cheaper when it's based on beef.
Well, I think
can you pull up what I just texted you? I don't know if you have it. While you're pulling it up, Adam, go ahead.
I think there's one thing we're overlooking, and that's super impressive.
With no bread, though.
Remove that on you.
Yeah,
go ahead.
low carb. I think there's one thing we're missing, and respect for Tom for knowing that cows take longer than chickens. That's just Tom for you. But I know one thing. The minimum wage that we've talked about for years and years and years, the chickens are coming home to roost, Tom, because when you fight for 15 and fight for 20, and basically you're paying minimum wage workers 40 grand when they used to pay them,
32,
nothing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden a 16-year-old kid is making 40 grand in California working for In-N-Out Burger or where Pat, learned his ones and twos on the grill at Burger King out there, Haagen-Dazs, whatever it is. This is what happens. These are the consequences of bad policies. When you increase the minimum wage, every 16-year-old, 18-year-old kid is now making 40 grand, 50 grand. Of course the burgers are going to cost more money. PBD, how much did you get paid when you worked for Burger King in 2000?
$4.25 an hour.
You're making a great point because it's a compounding effect.
Tom.
The beef is costing more, and now the compounding effect, the kid that's flipping the low-quality beef burger is being paid more, and suddenly you get yourself very expensive fast food, and people are backing off of it.
I feel like NBA players that played in the 80s. Nobody got paid. I mean, back in the days when I worked at Burger King in the 90s, they didn't pay all these spoiled guys making money. I didn't get my contract.
No.
My 5-year, $40,000 a year contract. By the way, pull up this number
Let me
here.
tell you, according to Anthony Edwards, there was no good players other than Michael Jordan in the 80s.
Rob,
Nobody.
Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so this is the price of beef, Tom. And if you can do me a favor, the timeline, Rob, on the bottom left, I believe it is, if you go to 10 years, you see 10 years? Look at this. So during COVID, it went up. I get it.
Yes.
Okay? But then back in the days, which is only 5 years ago, 19, look where it was.
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
now it's 298.
Yeah.
What the hell are we talking about?
They're trying to push us away from beef. They're trying to push us away and have us eat bugs and.
You ain't taking my meat,
nope,
Vinny.
I'll be damned.
I'm eating my steak.
Nope. That's what they want. That's what Bill Gates.
You believe that?
And if you want to talk about the dangers of hormone chicken, let's get RFK in here.
Yeah,
meatloaf.
Rob,
the next thing you know, what's the price of meatloaf at
Bill
that
Gates
point?
and bugs and eating bugs and these guys, they want no freaking cows. They don't want no meat. They want you eating that fake Impossible Burger crap, which I've never tried and I'll never recommend it. They want your testosterone to be nothing. Nothing. They want you to eat butter made from. No, I'm good, bro.
I don't know who's going to be eating the bugs. You do have some validity there, but then there's the flip side where they're like the cows and the methane and the greenhouse gases and the environment. There's a lot of conversations that need to happen
cows
here.
and methane.
Yeah.
You guys got gas. You got gas. Every day I walk with you outside, you're like, can we go for a walk?
Let me just blow my bubbles out here.
Pat just read the number of cows in America is at a 73-year low.
That's right.
Not good.
Because you know why?
And by the way, they say
72
folks
days.
in Japan are not having sex. Cows are not having sex.
Yeah.
Cows have become a sexless society.
They're not hooking up.
Really?
No.
They're done.
Maybe they need to come with like something called the Cow Hub. Cowhub.com and
you go to the website just
you got all
make them say
you got all the cows on the internet watching Only Horns, so
only hooves.
Only hooves.
Only hooves.
Next story.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Next story. Google backs new nuclear plans to power AI. Okay. So Google is going nuclear. Literally. They're going nuclear. Here we go. Google will support Kairos Power and building 7 small nuclear reactors, aiming to add 500 megawatts of nuclear power starting at the end of the decade, which is enough to power a mid-sized city or one AI data center campus. Michael Terrell from Google stated the end goal here is 24/7 carbon-free energy, highlighting the need for nuclear to complement wind, solar, and lithium-ion storage. In meeting these goals, Kairos Power will deliver the reactors between 2030 and 2035. The project features a 50-megawatt reactor initially, followed by 3 power plants with 2-megawatt reactors each. Unlike traditional reactors, Kairos uses molten fluoride salt as coolant Rather than water, the reactors are about 1/20th the size of conventional 1,000-megawatt units, with manufacturing and testing currently underway at their facility in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Tom.
So AI and EV take a lot of volts. They take a lot of power. And so America needs more power. We've already heard about California with all the people with EVs charging them at night, like in the summer where they still have the air conditioning on, being a big shortage, brownouts. Old power, I'm looking at you, Gavin Newsom, old power lines that are causing the wildfires.
What's a brownout?
A brownout is when in the evening they literally turn down.
Different meanings, but go ahead. Yeah,
they turn down the power available, so it's not a blackout. It's like a brownout where the power grid.
This better not be a Kamala joke right now.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Go ahead.
A brownout is where they're trying to.
I don't know if she's Indian or
let
black.
Him finish. Are you going to let him finish? He's going to throw that pen at you right now. Go ahead, Tom. Oh my God, the insult. Tom, finish.
People want to know. What people want to know, a brownout is where the power company desperately tries to keep power on for everybody, but they can only deliver so much power for everybody. So it's not a blackout, it's a brownout. It's actually your power company fighting so you can keep your air conditioning on and elderly people in the summer won't die. And so you've got all this power demand in California on the EVs. Everything's going to be EV by 2035. No more diesel trucks and all this. And meanwhile, the grid's being taxed. And so Google and everybody are looking at it. They want to offer AI. They're looking at power shortage. So what do? Build reactors.
So wait. You mean to tell me Google is about to build nuclear plants, but what Iran has how many?
They have one that was built in 2013 by the Russians. It's true. Besherha, if I'm pronouncing that right. They have one reactor.
And I don't know if you know. I don't know if the people out there know this or not. Russia doesn't have a great track record with nuclear reactors. Tom, do you remember a little place called Chernobyl?
Yeah. They had a defect in that product.
So Tom, wait, so Google's going to be its own like nuclear power.
Yeah, Google's going to have 7 reactors, and Iran has 1. So Google's a nuclear power.
So they might be getting attacked, or
yeah, they might be. Oh yeah, well, good. Don't upset somebody south of Lebanon and north of Egypt because they may put their missiles.
Dude, that's wild, Tom.
I learned a lot right there. I thought when you said brownout, I thought it was kind of the equivalent of like Brexit. You know, the blacks, the browns, they're leaving the Democratic Party.
No.
PBD, why is this story so important? Like, why did you want to focus on this one right here? Because this is the first I'm hearing of this. So
because
I'm learning this.
Because it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's good what Google is doing. We should entertain nuclear power. We should entertain going that direction. And it's great the fact that good ideas are being used by those that at one point opposed the fact that this was a good idea. This is a good, effective way of using nuclear power. By the way, most of us, when we think about nuclear, what do you think about?
Yeah, they think about the bomb.
Chernobyl,
if I said right now,
Nagasaki,
all
Hiroshima.
morning today, Adam's been gay. Now, you may assume Tom, Adam is part of LGBTQ.
I'm an ally.
But gay
Total ally.
he has been happy all morning.
Yeah,
by the way,
see that?
I'm a
So
literal
gay
guy
right now.
English is my 5th language. So to me, I have to look at it 2 ways.
I'm the gayest here
When you
person
say
here, for
the
sure,
word
Pat.
nuclear, all
Finally,
we
the
think
truth.
about is what? You think
Gay.
nuclear
Oh, no, bad things.
You think
Yeah.
nuclear plants. You're like, oh, something's going to happen.
God, yeah.
But no, it's okay if Adam is gay. We don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
But
Let me tell you something.
There
I was
are-
with my boyfriend this weekend. And
potato.
the bed sheets bit nuclear out there. But that's okay, guys. Make the choices.
I'm not saying. First of all, I want you to know that I want to be very serious here for a second for everybody to know this. I would never judge you.
Pat, you're telling me it's okay? It's not my fault.
Like, listen,
I've been doing the chick thing for 44
How much have you
years.
spent time with me?
a lot.
Would I judge you? How much have you spent time? I would never judge him.
Never judge.
I would never judge
like
him.
Closet,
I
in the
cannot-
closet, get out of the closet. Nobody
cannot- By the way, the fact that he even gave the look like I would judge him, I would never
thank you.
judge.
I feel very comfortable.
No,
around
I don't
here.
want. It's
great to
But what
see
I'm
you guys
saying
here.
is,
You like working here.
but the idea is,
Pat, you always have
you're-
my back. No problem.
No pun intended.
Thank you.
Bryce
I really
Mitchell.
appreciate
Or at
that.
least your shoulder blades.
But look, I mean, the point is, Tommy, that's a little too visual.
you
But
can't.
the point here. The point here is the fact
this
that the
episode just
word
went
nuclear scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good for Google for going this direction. I'm willing to bet the next 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 months, watch how many companies are going to make similar announcements. Just watch. How many companies will be making similar announcements the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months? Anyways, here's California. If you're in California, I know every time you guys love it when we give you guys some good news. Newsom's got some more good news for you guys. Apparently, they're planning on increasing gas prices as if it's not already the highest in America. They want a gas price increase by another 47 cents. Go ahead, Rob. Play the clip. Go ahead, Rob.
Hi, Governor. Ashley Zavala with KCRA3. I am going to follow up on that LCFS question just because
you guys have already moved off this.
No. Well, it's in an attempt to be able to explain to California drivers just to level set their expectations at the pump as this rulemaking process begins. The LCFS process is underway, as you have said, but in less than a month, they're scheduled to vote on that.
Yep.
And CARB, at the moment, the LA Times reported last week that they're not providing an update to the estimate that it might cost consumers. And I reached out to CARB on Friday. I have yet to hear back. I asked them, is that true? Do you not plan on publicly updating people on what the potential cost at the pump could be? So do you think it's fair to California drivers for people to not know what those LCFS standards mean at the pump?
Well, LCFS is not a brand new construct. It's been well established for years and years and years and years. There's a process that's consistent to the process they've had in the past. They put up some estimates. They put up updated estimates, so they have been transparent in that respect. To the degree that they should provide more, I'm for more transparency, absolutely, from that perspective. So to answer your question, I think more is better. I mean, that's the spirit of this special session. It's the spirit of why I'm here today signing this bill. But I do think it's important to talk about the substance and the merits of LCFF and how it's made a big impact on our low-carbon green growth agenda in the state of California. It's helped to pave the way to having 7 times more green-collar jobs than we have fossil fuel jobs. I'll repeat that, 7x more jobs in this sector. It's one of the reasons guys like Elon Musk and others have become so damn successful. Is because we've set price signals, we've created markets, we've created opportunities for investment. We're the #1 manufacturer in the state for a reason. We continue to be the envy of the world in these policies, and LCFS is a big, big part of that.
Just to quickly clarify, so you're the boss.
Well, I'm not the dictator.
Well, but will you direct CARB?
The Coastal Commission.
Will you direct CARB then to provide an estimate before that vote?
I think it's important to be, I think you heard exactly what I said. I'll repeat it. I think it's important to be transparent.
47 cents is what the number is.
Higher.
Yeah. By January 2025, okay, is what the number that's going around. They don't want to give that number out. And he's saying California has been this. Dude, you've lost $1 trillion of assets under management. You lost Rogan. You lost Musk. You lost so many people that are leaving your place. And the only reason the other people are not is because they got locked in with families and businesses that they cannot leave tomorrow.
You can pull up the images of how many companies left
You've lost Hollywood. Mr. Newsom, Mr. Handsome Newsom, that's got his raspy voice.
Gavin with the good hair.
Tom, what do you hear? Oh, by the way, right here, the lawmakers also raised, again, CARB, that signals gas prices are expected to rise by what? Another 47 cents per gallon in 2025 due to low-carbon fuel standards reforms. And Rob, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up most expensive gas price state in America? Let's see what comes up. Gas prices, state, America. California is the highest, and you're going to add another 47 cents to that in taxes. You're welcome, California. This message is brought to you by the lovely Governor Newsom.
I would actually love to see that full list because the top 3 states are some of the most progressive states in the union.
Well, by the way, one of the fastest way to have hidden taxes is put it in gas.
That's
one of the fastest way to collect taxes is put it in gas.
Yep.
Nobody will take notice. Nobody will. It's one of the fastest, smoothest, slickest, creative way
just sneak right
to put it in there. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, Gavin Newsom says he's against fossil fuels, but when you hear him talk, he's one of the oiliest guys you're going to meet.
Ooh, good pun right
See what
there.
I did there? See what I did there?
Big pun. Wow.
But one of the things that he talks about is we created green jobs. He doesn't talk about the thousands and thousands of Tesla jobs that left.
Yep, that's right.
When he says we created green jobs. So you have to listen to what Gavin Newsom says. You don't need to fact check this guy. That's a given. You don't have to do extra fact checking, but you have to context check him constantly.
I like that.
Because he always
context check.
Correct.
I like that.
We've created green jobs. What about the thousands that Elon Musk took to Texas? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we created. So he answers what he wants to, and he says, at the end of that, you see what he flips back around to? He doesn't answer the question. I think I've already answered the question. I'm in favor of transparency. Wait, sir. We were asking you how much the tax was, and you said, I think they should be transparent. I think it should be more transparent. I'm in favor of transparency. Okay, thank you about transparency. Let's move back to tax. How much are the people going to be charged at the pump? And he won't say it.
He's just like, when you just watch him, you have to give him credit. He is extremely good at being just a that long answer. To me, he's just like a slithering snake. By the way, talking about just more adding to California. They just did a November 1st spring. Hey, you know what they're doing, Pat? They're having a mask mandate in certain cities. In California are back. What? Taking effect November 1st to the spring 2025. Did you know that, Tom? That's mask mandates.
They don't want to see your face when you're voting.
Oh, that could be a great point. November 1st. And Pat, did you hear what happened with Anna Kasparian?
What happened?
She's leaving California. She's not voting for the Democrats. You guys hear what happened? She was allegedly molested by two homeless people
I saw that,
outside. For the left to be like, yo, enough is enough. We're done. California has been falling, and you'd think that they would start making changes.
But did you see how she was attacked for bringing that up?
They went after her.
All she did was said, this is how I feel. This is what happened. I felt violated. I felt assaulted. This is horrible. And yet, for breaking ranks, what did they do to her? Oh, you're being so... And they were all... Ask Eric Adams what happens if you break ranks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, to be specific, and I'm 0% condoning what happened to her, was homeless. But the problem was she called homeless people homeless. Everyone knows they're the unhoused,
misplaced.
They're the unfortunate who no longer have roofs over their head. You cannot call homeless people homeless anymore in the state of California.
It's just like
you're going to hurt the homeless people's feelings.
Yeah, what is going?
And she's going to pay the price for that.
What, Pally? What would make someone even want to move? I don't remember the last time I heard somebody saying, "I'm moving to California."
Dude,
period.
You can surf and ski in the same day, Vinny. Wake up.
Yeah. Guess what? I would rather have hurricanes and freedom than California and Gavin Newsom.
Led Zeppelin did it. That was 1973.
But then they give you a free poop map when you move to California, so you avoid it. Boom.
Yeah.
You would rather have hurricanes and
freedom,
Helene Rex and Milton, the guy she hooked up with, than anything else.
Than anything else. Wow. Period. Done deal.
That's okay. Well, why don't we transition into something else that maybe Tom, Rob? Let's talk about what Elon just did this last week. Historic week for him. Being able to do something that the government does it costs him 20 times more to do what he just did. He does it for a 20th of a cost, nearly a 20th of a cost. Go ahead, Rob.
Dude, this was so freaking cool what they did here.
And it's good.
But Rob, you got to play the one with the lady reacting with the voice in the background and the celebration. That's the clip. Because the clip is her commentary is what makes it. When I see, because what they did is this is so monumental when a group of people, I just sent you to, you can go to my Twitter account, Rob, and you'll see there as well. When you see a group of people work on something that everybody said, you'll never pull it off. What do you think you're doing? Who do you think you are? You're not this guy. You're going to go, this is all a gibberish. And then you pull it off. Listen to the way she speaks about it. Go ahead, Rob. Listen.
We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now.
Listen.
Megadilla has popped the booster.
Hell yeah. I love it. Listen.
Insane. On the first ever attempt, we have successfully caught the super heavy booster back at
Look at that. That's what it feels like when your team does the impossible.
That's what I want to see right there.
That's going to be election night here.
You kidding me? Oh my! On the first attempt.
You know what's great about this? Did you know what the space program has dumped in the Atlantic Ocean and in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Vandenberg? You would be shocked if you knew how much junk is at the bottom of our oceans.
Is that why there's fish with 9 heads?
Yeah. And those are exotic fuels and stuff they use. And the junk that's up in space floating around, that in the future we're going to have to figure out how to take down these older satellites. And guess what the solution is? Some of the solution is, drop them into a lower orbit where they lose velocity and they drop through the atmosphere and they land in the largest body of water in the United States, which is, in the world, the largest body of water.
Atlantic
Ocean? Pacific Ocean.
Damn it, Tom.
Man, we're 50-50 on
I thought you were going to say Caspian Sea, but go ahead.
That's right. And
Lake Michigan.
And they're just going to say, hey, whatever's left, let it come back in reentry and go in the ocean. They got to figure out the space junk. And then, so Elon Musk, think about this.
Thinking.
He's in an industry where it would be perfectly okay to launch a rocket and drop the booster in the ocean.
Yeah.
That would be perfectly okay.
Yeah.
That's what's been happening for years and years. In the middle of the ocean is international waters. Kaflop. Instead, he says, I'm going to get it back. And I'm going to get it back, but with such incredible innovation. Look at the joy in those teams.
I love that.
To say they're part of that.
I love that. By the way, Rob, can you do me a favor? Do me a favor and Google the following. Here's what I want you to Google. I want you to go Google SpaceX cost versus NASA. Exact words. And watch what comes up. Zoom in right there where it says NXTL at the bottom, a little bit low, right there. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launches have been advertised at around $62 million per launch, while larger rockets, Falcon Heavy, can cost $90 million. But look at NASA. For the same exact thing, NASA Space Launch System is estimated to cost $2 billion per launch. I said nearly 20x. Guys, it's more than 20x is what it does, okay, on what he's been able to do. That's the part that makes this so impressive. For every one launch NASA does, he can afford to do with the same amount of money 22 times. 22 times with the Falcon Heavy. Got to give these guys respect and props for what they got going on. By the way, the guy's got 12 kids, okay?
Yeah.
He's running multi-billion dollar companies, okay? He's giving Starlink out to people that need it, okay? He's going on podcasts. He's campaigning for Trump, doing backflips. He's playing video games. He's doing customer service.
He gave us X.
Yeah, he's running X, and still he has time to do this.
And this is why.
So if anybody ever goes, I'm busy.
I'm too busy.
Shut the hell up.
So he's doing all that, and then Keith Olbermann wants to kick him out of the country for doing all this. This is why Trump is now proposing that Elon can be, quote unquote, the cost-cutting secretary. Did you see that story right there? Where he said Trump has suggested creating a new position. We're going to create a new beautiful position and call him the Secretary of Cost Cutting. And
is this it?
Yeah, is this it right here?
Go ahead, Rob.
Check this out.
Dying to do this. You know, he's a great business guy, actually. You think of him for science and rockets, and every time I think he's telling me about a new screw that was developed, he's developed a new screw. Screws are difficult, and it's made out of titanium, and it's so exciting. But you know what? He's a great business guy, and he's a great cost cutter. You've seen that. And he said, I could cut costs without affecting anybody.
So he will be in the cabinet?
Not in the cabinet. He doesn't want to be in the cabinet. He just wants to be in charge of cost cutting. We'll have a new position, Secretary of Cost Cutting. Okay, Elon wants to do that, and we have incredible people. He's running a big business. You know, he can't just say, "Oh, I think I'll go into the cabinet." You know, other people can. He can't. But Elon's a little bit different in that sense. And besides that, I want him to send the rocket up to Mars. He said, he's made me a promise he'll get to Mars before the end of my administration, which will be long before, hopefully, China or Russia. I created a Space Force. First time that's been done since the Air Force. Air Force was the last. It was 81 years ago. And I did Space Force. And when Biden heard, he laughed. He thought it was so funny. He didn't understand. And we tried to end it. And the military went down on him. You wouldn't believe it. It's now going to be one of our most important things. We were getting killed in space by China and by Russia. And now
I think that's so important and not something that should be dismissed. Because right now, what's the national debt in our country right now? $35 trillion and growing. And they just came out with another number that in 2023, in this last fiscal year, the Biden-Harris administration, I think, racked up another $1.2 trillion in the national debt. We haven't balanced the budget in decades, since Clinton basically is the last time that we had a balanced budget. So if it takes cutting cost and having Elon Musk as the secretary of cost cutting,
SCC.
sign me up.
Yep. SCC.
If what?
If
Let's
Elon
save that
becomes
money.
the secretary of cost cutting.
And now Elon's talking about that they're going to go to Mars in the next 2 years. And by the way, breaking news for all the flat earthers and all the people out there that think we've never gone to the moon, Elon Musk said 100% that we went to the moon. Did you know that, Vinny?
Listen,
I know some of your friends think that there's flat Earth and that we're
I'm not an expert
that we're
on
faking it out
space,
there.
but me and Pat saw a movie that what was it? Fly Me to the Moon, whatever.
Yeah.
But
So there was. I just realized Elon Musk said 100% went to the moon, and Vinny saw a movie.
Yeah, and I saw a movie that was pretty damn believable.
So I'm going to go with Elon on this one.
Well, that's
Go to Vinny.com right now for all the best information.
So you think we went to the moon?
Well, according to Elon Musk,
don't speak for him.
100%.
Don't speak for him. Do you think that we went to the moon?
I'm a very firm believer that we were on the moon, yes. And then when Elon Musk said it, it confirmed all my biases.
Okay, well,
for sure. Do you doubt Elon Musk?
I don't.
Are you doubting? Are you doubting Space Force?
I doubt the government. What
are you doing
anytime
right now,
that the
Vinny?
government is involved with something, with making a studio that just in case the other thing doesn't look good, and I don't trust it. But yeah,
Go ahead. You were going to say.
Well,
something.
I'll give you that, Vinny. I'll give you that. Right. Then when you're asked to believe something because the government said it.
Yeah. All right. Well, next thing you're going to tell me is that the CIA had something to do with JFK. Okay, guy.
Let me go to this next story. Okay,
No. They only helped. It was LBJ.
DOJ sues Virginia over order removing illegal migrants from voter rolls. Rob, if you got this clip, go ahead and play it. Go ahead.
Well, that's not. I sent it. Yeah, the governor.
Rob, you got it or no?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Glenn Youngkin.
Yep. There you go. Go ahead and play that clip.
That bill was signed in 2006, and it requires us to use DMV data where people self-identify as non-citizens to then go through a process of removing them from the voter rolls if they're on the voter rolls. And guess what? That's exactly what we've been doing. It's been happening for 18 years. Democrat governors, even Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam, used this process all the way up through into October. And that's exactly what we're doing in Virginia today is someone walks into the DMV, they identify themselves as a non-citizen, somehow or another, either by accident or by purpose, they register to vote, they're on the voter roll. We go through a process of notifying the registrar that they need to be told that if they cannot affirm their citizenship in 14 days, they're taken off the voter roll. And this is the process that the Department of Justice, 25 days before a presidential election, turns around and says, you must stop doing this. And that is unbelievable to me. I mean, here I am, a governor, mandated, and oh, by the way, proud to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and by law to make sure that we have clean voter rolls. And the Department of Justice shows up 25 days before a presidential election and says, stop doing that. To me, this is unprecedented, and I think it represents a Department of Justice that is trying to achieve something other than fair and free elections. And I have to say, my job as governor is to make sure that the election in Virginia will be fair, will be accurate, and will be safe. And that's exactly what I am doing, and I will continue to do it because the Department of Justice is wrong here.
I hope people really understood what he just said. The Department of Justice, one of our institutions, they went to them and they're suing them because, is that not election interference? Going there and saying, no, don't take people off. Why? Because those people are going to be voting for the Democrats? Tom, isn't that just proven the fact that all this lawfare, that everything, that these guys work, how many people in the Department of Justice are Democrat? It seems like the majority of the people that are running it are, because look what they've been doing to Trump for all these years. And now to sue a state for taking off people that aren't supposed to be voting, to me, tells me that the Department of Justice is working with the Biden-Harris campaign because they want those voters to vote for them. Am I off?
How long has Virginia been doing this?
18 years.
Correct. And Terry McAuliffe, who Pat and I met in Malibu at a very cool debate. We saw him and Ed Gillespie do a debate.
Wow, Tom, you're going that far back.
Old school.
Yep. And we saw, we saw him.
70s, 80s.
He and Ed Gillespie, were there, they're debating. We didn't know they...
08, 2009, 10, 11, something like that.
11, 12, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that. So we've seen Terry, and at certain times he's a pretty intellectual guy. He's on the left, and I don't agree with all of his policies, but he was a governor where this was going on, and he endorsed it and continued it.
Yeah.
So this isn't something that Glenn just started. This has been going on for 18 years. And now the Department of Justice, there's your background. I boil it down to this. It's another weaponization of the Department of Justice in an election year.
Yeah.
Period.
That's done
That's
deal.
it.
And Tom, how is that, Pat, not illegal? What they're doing is freaking election interference. You're suing a state because it's not, the rules aren't set up for your, like, this is law. And by the way, it was passed by Democrat Governor Tim Kaine. Passed this law. Like, what are people not paying attention to this? This is how.
Tim Kaine, former VP.
Was it Tim Kaine? I think so, for Hillary, right?
Tim Kaine with Hillary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hillary's. But if you think about it, this is, imagine the states now, Tom, that they're not doing this. Like, this is just one instance where the Department of Justice is actively working for a specific party. How is that not in itself illegal?
Adam, your thoughts on this?
This is over my pay grade right now. I'm not necessarily following this story right now, so I don't want to speak on anything I don't know.
Okay, so here's my question to you. Do you think
I understand that. It's civics.
Well, wait, let me ask you a question, Adam. Do you think it's fair or legal for the Department of Justice to go to a state and say, hey, wait a minute, those people that aren't supposed to be on this voter roll, put them back on. We're suing you because we want people that aren't supposed to vote. We want them to vote.
You. I honestly, I would like to see some more information on the story. I haven't following it whatsoever, but I will.
Pat, you think
I will do my due diligence.
Pat, you think that's
First of all, I'm not surprised. The other day, 60 Minutes is interviewing this lady from Pennsylvania and this guy. Rob, we obviously cannot play the clip because CBS is famous for.
Yeah, they love us.
You know, by the way, the dumbest strategy, CBS, because you not allowing people to react to your clips brings less eyeballs to your channel and what you're doing. Brilliantly dumb. It's to do something like that. So he says, well, look, because it's absentee ballot, she's showing him how long it takes to fold.
Yeah.
And
forever.
she says, this is why it takes a long time. So we need a lot of time to count all the ballots. And it's like, really? So they're telling you to your face in Pennsylvania, you know, you best win by a mile. Yesterday, John Anderson, who was, I believe, like the former vice president of Australia, flew out, and I was on his show. This is the second time we're doing it together. He's always great, nice guy. And he asked me a question about, do you think there's going to be election? You know, what do you think is going to happen with election? You know, all the stuff that they're going to be doing. I said, look, the answer is yes. I said, but there's two ways to play the game. There's the player that goes around, you know, calling out, what do you call it? The referee for getting all the calls wrong. Hey, you missed that, and you missed this, and you missed that, and you missed this. The 2 seconds it took for you to look this way, the guy just passed you and scored a goal. Okay? You being distracted by the cheating just got you to go do this. Where, listen, the people whose jobs are to prevent cheating from happening, like himself, Youngkin, and a few other guys, Trump, there's a few other guys that are doing it, Laura, there's some people that are doing this. That's their job. You know what everybody else's job is, Vinny? You remember when the Rams won the Super Bowl many, many years ago with Marshall Falk and, you know, who was it? With Kurt Warner, 400
Torrey
yards,
Holt,
Super Bowl.
Isaac Bruce.
That's right. Just
Ricky
the most
Kroll.
ridiculous offense they had. You know, as the saying goes,
1999.
Sometimes the greatest defense is what?
Offense.
Is a strong offense.
Yeah.
So here's what my suggestion
Greatest
is.
show on turf.
For the people that are afraid of what's going to happen election night, here's my feedback to you. This is the way to do it. You say, hey, Adam,
Yes,
Rob,
sir.
Tom, Vinny, let's go vote. Oh, come on, man. You know my vote doesn't matter. Let's go vote. Bro, I don't want to go vote right now. I'll do it tomorrow. Let's go vote right now. Come on, I'm going to get you guys pizza tonight. Go take your friends to go vote. Take your wife, take your family, take your friends, take your neighbor, take your coworkers. Rally anybody and everybody to go vote. That has got to be the greatest strategy, because sometimes in sales, here's how it works, Vinny. Say you have 384 existing clients and you're hustling to prospect 17 new ones, okay? Sometimes we should do this, but sometimes all you have to do is call your 384 existing happy clients and ask them for referrals. The 384, if each give you 5 referrals, that's nearly 2,000 referrals that you have. Call your existing base that's going to be voting for you. Find out who is maybe sitting out. Like how many people are saying the following, oh my God, I forgot to register. I can't vote. And it's too late for some people, right? How many people are going to be the ones that are, millions of people that are going to be like, oh, I totally forgot to vote. And it's going to happen to so many people. The best way to fight this is to be super, super aggressive of rallying everybody you know to go to vote. That day should be the pizza day, the coffee day. Bro, we go Starbucks on me. Bro, we go pizzas on me. Bro, we go get burger. Bro, we go watch. We go. Let's go. Rallying. I think that is the message that isn't being given enough. The more you give the message of that they're going to be cheating, the less people get motivated to go do something, because the more they're going to be like, they're going to cheat anyways. Who cares? They're going to cheat anyways. I think we need to rally people to go out there and stand in line and do the voting. And if more people come from that place, this 2024 could be the greatest vote on turf, right? The greatest show on turf.
Yeah.
They can really show up, and it could be a landslide type of a year, but the people got to show up, and they got to play offense.
Too big to rig.
Yeah. So anyways, next one here. Iran. Tom, I know this is your favorite story. So Iran has a hit list of former Trump aides. The U.S. is scrambling to protect them. So, Rob, if you can prepare that one video, that's right there. Iran's threat against the U.S. officials, including Donald Trump and those involved in the 2020 killing of Iran's Qasem Soleimani, have taken seriously by U.S. officials, with Matt Olson from DOJ calling it extraordinary serious. Iran has issued Interpol red notices and produced propaganda targeting these individuals. While some of those threatened receive no government protection despite being on Iran's hit list, the Biden administration has ramped up security spreading with Congress, allotting close to $150 million annually to protect former officials like Mike Pompeo, Mark Milley. However, others such as former National Security Council members Robert O'Brien, Victoria Coates, and Matt Pottinger are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal security. They are pushing for increased government support, arguing that Iran's threat are not just idle internet chatter. Adam.
Well, number one, first and foremost, Iran is our enemy, any way you cut it. And then Iran is funding a lot of our allies' enemies in the Middle East, namely Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis, and Shia militias everywhere. So how much credibility is in this story? I would actually give it a high credibility. What did the Ayatollah of Iran tweet out recently about a robot that will be used to kill Trump? What was that whole reenactment?
I think it was an older tweet, but it resurfaced.
Older video.
Okay.
Older video, but it showed how to kill somebody like that.
And, you know, listen, Iran is notorious. You've taught Magba America. The fact that I even know that in Persian.
Magba America. Death upon America.
There we go, guys. I know Farsi now. Is reality of this. But the rhetoric goes both ways. Trump this past week was like, we're going to bomb the shit out of you, Iran. I don't know if you can find that clip anywhere, but sometimes rhetoric is needed, but sometimes action is needed. And Iran, don't look now, but Iran, 10 days ago, sent 200 plus missiles into Israel. Hot war, no longer rhetoric, and they're bracing for a response from Israel. So whatever's going on in the Middle East just got very real. And we're going to see, you talked about what cities they would potentially bomb. Mm-hmm. What were the cities, or what were the historic?
Israel bombing Iran?
Exactly.
If they would, Israel, it would be Esfahan. Yeah, Esfahan.
Okay, which is the equivalent of what?
Esfahan is a very, very historic city. No. Very. Esfahan is like the you can say Paris. It's lots of history there.
Yeah, I mean, the most interesting thing about Iran is, you know, the people are not governments and governments are not people. Do you know, of all the countries in the Middle East where Israel and America has the highest approval ratings is amongst the Iranian citizens? But if you just think about Iran and the governments, we're at war, we're at odds with these people. But the people of Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, formerly known as Persia, beautiful, smart, cultured, and they've been hijacked by this theocratic, thug-like regime. And I don't know, but I think their days are as close they've been to being numbered in since 1979.
Rob, what is this? This is an older clip though, right? Because this is from...
This is the clip that Adam was referencing where Trump says that he would bomb the shit out of Iran.
But this is years ago though. This is 5 years ago.
Said it again.
I can't find a recent clip.
Go to play this clip.
He said it again though.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care.
They've got to be stopped.
Well,
listen, I love the music. I love the background, but I mean, he hasn't. Yeah. He's the non-war president. I just feel like this upcoming administration, he's getting pushed to the point where he's going to have to do something. And by the way, you talked about Israel. U.S. deployed 100 troops to Israel. Pat, you know this, right? For the advanced anti-missile system in Israel amid heightened tension. So now there are actual American troops on the ground because they have to operate it's called the THAAD battery defense THAAD. So I mean, listen, it's going to get to the point where because Israel hasn't responded at all, right, Tom? I mean, Adam, they're about to.
Well, look, listen, say what you want. The rhetoric, there was no war in Ukraine. There was no war in Israel. China wasn't circling the wagons over in Taiwan.
Flying spy balloons over the country.
So, Trump rhetoric and Rocket Man and bomb the shit out of him, okay. But sometimes you actually need a crazy person or a perceived crazy person in the White House. I'll just ask this question. Do you think Xi or Putin or the Ayatollahs fear Kamala Harris? I'm not saying that this rhetoric is what's needed. I actually think that diplomacy is needed and conversations and talking to the enemies. You don't make peace with your friends, you make peace with your enemies. But I would doubt that any of these people fear Kamala Harris. And this is the closest the world has been to World War III in, I don't know, ever.
Rob, can you do me a favor? Now, here's the only thing. The story came out Wall Street Journal first thing in the morning today, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., is the following, Rob. If you want to pull this up, this is the first thing I saw when I went on WSG. I just send the link to you. If you type in Israel assures U.S., and you'll see it right there. Okay. This
You've been blocked.
Oh, shoot. They blocked you, Rob.
Rob, what did you do?
There, Rob. So if you look at, you can't do it. Okay, it's all good. So there's a story that came up today from Wall Street Journal. Says Israel assures U.S. it will not strike Iran's oil and nuclear facilities.
Really?
Officials say.
That's actually massive news.
Now, whether they do or not is a different story. Go a little lower. Go a little lower. Go a little lower. Continue reading the article to see the pledges between President Biden and Israel. Netanyahu is not going to let you do it. Okay, but Rob, we have an account. Why don't you just log in when you're doing? Okay, all right. So we'll do that afterwards. But yeah, so they're saying they're not. But do you believe that Israel will listen to America and not attack those facilities?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Is this one way of we listen to the opinions of the United States, but we will make, okay, Rob, you just had it, but we will make our final decisions based on our national interest. You know what he's saying?
We'll do what we want.
We will thank you for your feedback, but if we want to bomb these guys,
we're going to do it.
We will,
yeah.
Right? So it's not a go a little lower, Rob, go a little lower to see what they say. Still Biden on the top of that, maintain Israel has the right to respond, and I've said that in top. So a strike on oil fields that could send energy prices soaring would be unwelcome weeks ahead of U.S. election, officials have said, and hitting Iran's nuclear facilities could trigger the full-blown regional war that Biden has desperately sought to avoid. Go a little low, Rob. Americans officials have said that they expected a measured response from Israel, believing that the country did not want an out-of-control war. But Biden's leverage with Netanyahu has been limited as he has struggled to bring the violence to an end in Gaza and contain a wider war. By the way, his leverage with Netanyahu is done. Not done. You know why?
Didn't he say something bad about him?
No. Yeah, he did. He's not a fan of his. But the point is, you have no more leverage with Netanyahu. You're not going to be the president in 22 days. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you go on vtnews.ai, for a lot of folks, guys, I don't know what you're doing, but thousands of you have already subscribed. Here's what I love about what's on vtnews.ai. And kudos to the team, Paul, Fabian, Ben, and the crew. Look at this here. If you go to homepage, go all the way to the top to see where the homepage is. If you go to vtnews.ai, we hired 15 machine learning engineers to build this. Go to the right where it says U.S. elections 2024, all the way to the right. If you click on that, click on that, Rob, you'll go to this. Go by different counties to see the different battlegrounds at the top, Rob, at the top.
Arizona.
So right now, National is 48. She's still got a lead. Go to Arizona. Let's see what Arizona shows. Go a little lower so we can see all of them, Rob. So it's Trump plus, except for Wall Street. So Wall Street Journal has Harris plus 2 in Arizona. Okay, let's see Georgia.
Come on, Georgia.
See Georgia?
Yes.
Wall Street Journal's got Harris up 2. Wow, Wall Street Journal's Harris.
Weird.
Yeah, and by the way, they're pretty straight up. I mean, they're not leftist. They're center. Sometimes even center right capitalists. Go to Michigan. Go to Michigan. Wall Street Journal has Harris up too again.
Weird. So the Wall Street Journal did a poll here, and we put it out there for everybody to see. We don't pull punches. These are the most recent and the most notable polls we have. But the Wall Street Journal, what's very interesting is we indicate the sample size and the margin of error. We put it right up there for you to see. 600 registered voters versus likely voters. Other people do larger samples, Pat. They aim for 1,000. Look at all the other pollsters. Wall Street Journal.
What's the difference between registered voter and likely voter?
So a registered voters, you know they're registered to vote, but then you ask them, it says, do you intend to vote? And it makes a big difference because there's a lot of people, like Obama was talking to those African-American men that said, I may sit this one out. There's also a lot of people of faith, supposedly, in the Christian community said, well, I'm a registered Republican, but I don't know if I'm voting. We've heard this the last couple of weeks. What most pollsters do is they want the likely voters so that you're registered and you've voted previously and you intend to vote this time. So the likely voter polls are usually more accurate and you take out margin of error, the larger sample size. So 1,000 likely voters is usually a pretty solid poll. Now, was it collected properly? Different question. But you can see the Wall Street Journal, 600 registered voters. So those are kind of weak polls that maybe have some error in them. But the Wall Street Journal went out and ran those really, really quick over the course of the last week and a half.
Go to Nevada.
But we put them right up there.
Go to Nevada. So Nevada, we got...
Trump is up.
Trump is up. Emerson has... but Atlas Intel has Harris. Okay, go to Carolina.
Wall Street Journal has him up by 6.
Go back to Nevada. Wall Street Journal has him up by 6 in Nevada. Okay, good.
Weird.
Carolina. Go to Carolina. It's all Trump except for Wall Street Journal tie. Go to Pennsylvania, which is the one.
Wow.
New
Harris
York
up by 3.
Everybody has Pennsylvania as Trump.
Wow.
This is it, by the way.
That's huge.
Go to Wisconsin.
Trump again.
And by the way, we have this up now for those who subscribe. If you go to the bottom, Tom, if you want to walk it through with the audience to know what this is and how you can mess around with it.
We have an interactive map. The map starts out right here based on the states that are pretty much locked in based on the polling. So each candidate looks in a real good position. And we leave in the tan or gold. You make the choice. So you could select a couple states as Rob is doing here. Maybe you think you're going to go this way or that way. And you'll see the Electoral College up at the top.
If you click on, pick Arizona and click on it, Rob. Which one are you on? I don't know which one. Go on Arizona. Let's just say go full red Arizona. Let's just say Trump goes all red.
There you go. Now he's at 230. And now let's go Georgia and North Carolina, Rob. Those look like they're Trump.
All red. One more. Yeah, there you go. Do that one as well.
And now Trump's at 262. Now watch what happens. Just make Pennsylvania red.
Come on, Trump.
Wow.
Come on.
281. And by the way, go take Arizona back to tan, Rob. Watch what happens.
That's a 6.
This is why I'm saying, look at the number, 270. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. If those go Trump, this election could be called at midnight.
Oh,
wow.
But if you think differently, go to the map at vtnews.ai. Run your own scenarios. See how it's going to shake out. We put the power in your own hand.
And by the way, this thing gets updated on a daily basis. And FYI, the night of the election night, just so you know, we have Tom and Amy will be doing interactive of counties of this. Tom, do you want to tell them what you're going to be showing to everybody live the entire time?
We will have the live state. So we're not just going to wait for the state to be called. We'll wait for the state to close the polls. About an hour later, votes will come in. Now, like we'll go to Pennsylvania. We will show you what % of the votes are in. Where does it look red? Where does it look blue? We'll have the counties aligned so we can see Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, the battlegrounds, step by step by step. We're not going to make you wait till it's called. We're going to be going to each state several times during the night while Pat moderates an incredible, and I can't even tell you who's going to be there because I'll get in big trouble, but there's some really cool people that are going to be there, but we're going to be walking it through so you can see what's unfolding, and then we will have the simulcast live so you can go look at the states as they're called at vtnews.ai.
There you go, folks. Have a wonderful day. We will do this again, maybe, just maybe this week.
By the way, I don't know if you knew, like, what else is going on, by the way.
What's that?
So, Pat, this is...
Oh, here we go.
I don't want to... It's
Stop.
somebody's birthday this week.
You're funny.
Yeah.
I don't know
You're funny.
if you knew about this.
You are funny.
Did you know
I don't
that?
know.
Did you
I don't know if you
But
knew.
let me put it to you this way.
Yes.
It's like, to me, it's 21
Yes.
fine, then it's 30, 40, 50,
No,
60.
I agree.
at 50s, that's 46 years old, bro. It's like 46
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I hear you. But unfortunately, Pat, it doesn't work that way. If people want to give you a shout out on your birthday, we kind of have to.
It's the celebration week.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
So
I appreciate
Vinny,
that.
hey guys,
what up?
Before we even,
you're so funny. What's
there we go.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Papa.
Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
PBD.
Thank you. Thank you.
We even got Papa here.
Papa's in the
Come
house.
around, Pop. Talaka. Oh, wow. How you doing, babe?
Come on, Jen. Here we go. Pa. There it is. Hey-o.
So is this the cake? Like, can I eat this or no?
You can eat whatever you want.
Wow.
Pat. Guys, the Godfather just showed up. Can we get a little respect for the Godfather in the house? He's here. He sleeps 10 feet away. It's the Godfather. What's going on right now? So, hi, Jen.
You have confetti in your
Thank you.
Hey,
guys. So, PBD.
Yes.
Did anybody prepare anything? I just prepared a little something. Well, the hi, Nat. Did we sign this?
Oh, get out of here.
I can't take credit for that. But
I love this.
PBD,
You're
what
amazing.
do you get for the guy that has everything? I don't know.
That's
so all I could
pretty
do is
sick.
maybe say a couple kind words.
Let's hear it.
So, but someone freaked out.
I was actually very nice to you today on the podcast.
You told everybody I was gay. So thanks, Pat. By the way, not true. Fake news. Or is it? Me and Vinny, we might get married.
But we
You
meant
never know.
happy. We meant gay and celebratory.
Positive way. That's what I meant.
I told the guy the other day, I forgot who it was, and they go, that Pat is a big horoscope guy. They said, Pat is into horoscopes? I go, like, big time. He asked everybody what their birthday is. Oh, you're an Aquarius. I don't know about the Aquarius. True or false, you're into the horoscopes.
Yes.
So I took the liberty to figuring out who was born on October 18th. Who are the famous people? You're a Libra, October 18th. By the way, your Valentine's Day or the day after Valentine's Day. And then Tico's first on February 4th. But here's some famous people, okay? Some people you've known, you've met. But I have a prediction too. So most famous person born on October 18th. Number one, the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Jean-Claude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's the Hollywood heartthrob, Zac Efron.
Really?
Yeah. Right
okay.
There he is.
Baywatch.
I mean, you look at those abs on Vinny. The godfather of rock and roll, Chuck Berry. Interesting. And the Bears, the coach, Mike Ditka, he was the first player and coach to ever win the Super Bowl.
Yes, tight
and you
end.
interviewed him.
Yeah,
tight end. Thank you for another gay reference. Appreciate that. But let's not go. You like that one there, Tommy? Tommy with the buzz cut. We're not going to talk about the fact that Brittany Griner's also born on the October 18th. And Milo Yiannopoulos.
Was she really?
Yeah,
Milo.
You mean Brian
Milo.
Griner, right? Brian Griner.
And the infamous Lee Harvey Oswald. Interesting. So I don't know how you're going to grapple with
Had to throw that in.
And they had to throw
you
this
just
in
messed the whole thing up.
I know, but there it is right there. But a couple quick facts. Famous monumental days that happen on your birthday, PBD. The U.S. got a sick deal buying Alaska from Russia in 1867 on your birthday, October 18th.
Good negotiators.
Yeah, great. Number two, the end of World War I. Treaty of Versailles.
We like peace.
You're making peace in the Middle
Yes.
East or, around the world. And then your favorite people, the Puerto Ricans, is the United States got Puerto Rico in 1950 on October 18th.
So Alaska and Puerto Rico on October 18th.
Shout out to the Boricuas in La Casa. But here's my prediction. I think when all is said and done, you're going on a 40-year run.
Mm-hmm.
I think when they do the list, boom, 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 boom. At the end of the day, the most famous person ever on October 18th will be Patrick Bet-David. We'll see. But in 40 years, we have all that time.
That's funny.
Anyway.
My man.
Shout out to my guy.
I appreciate you. You're the
Thank
man.
Much love.
Today was
PBD.
actually a fun. By the way, I was not expecting anything today because you'll know my brain is in many different places. Yeah. Okay, just be patient. My brain is in many different places. But the moment I was about to wrap up and you interrupted me and I looked at your face,
yeah,
you do.
I said, and I looked at the door with the light, I said, okay, I got it.
You almost hit me. I saw that. I flinched. Tom threw coffee on Vinny today, but
That was
any
bad.
excuse to get
that was bad.
Papa in the house, in the seat.
Well, listen.
Very upset.
Can Papa maybe say a few words? I know you love talking.
Well, Papa wants to do a podcast next week, 3 hours. He said he will.
Papa, there's the mic right there. Vinny, give him the mic.
No, he's good.
He says, get this stupid mic out of my face. Papa, are you really going to do a podcast?
Happy birthday. Merci, Papa. Merci. Thank you.
Successful.
Thank you.
Hook him up, Vinny.
My man. Thank you.
Papa, you got to use the mic.
Make a wish? Okay, let me make a wish real quick. Good.
Happy birthday, PBD.
Thank you. Rob, are we still live, Rob? Are people
We
still
are. There's
staying
46,000 people watching your birthday party live.
You are too nice to be with us. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody out there as well. Mike, I saw you driving by. I'm like, why is Mike going to 50? What's he doing going over there? And then you have to come back here for this. But no, it's great. Listen, you talk about the crew here, working with the people here. It's a breath of fresh air to work with people that you look forward to coming to work with. It's a second family that you build, and we're having that here. And 46, to me, it's another birthday. But 50, I'm telling you, 50, we're going to do something special for the 50th. It'll be one for the record books. But thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate everybody here that's coming in with the cake, babe. Thank you. You're awesome. Appreciate you.
It was all Jen.
Jonathan?
And Jonathan.
What did Jonathan do?
He got the cake.
Where is Jonathan at? I see Jonathan in the back.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Jonathan, the man. By the way, Jonathan was one of the rock stars for the Vol Conference. Let them see you. Come around, man. This guy was a rock star
Jonathan.
For what he did. Yes, Jonathan's one of a kind. His energy, absolute true believer.
This guy's
here
wearing
on
a
the
Yankees
team.
hat, too. We got a whole Yankees uniform.
Yeah, it's Yankees. They won yesterday, right? Playing again tonight.
Tom is not happy about it.
No, because Tom's Dodgers and he's hoping Yankees lose.
thought he
But
was
we
a
don't like that. I
Guardians
mean, I would say at least for like a birthday thing, root for them or something, but we'll see what's going to happen.
I know you don't care about your birthdays. There's 46,000 people, if not millions, that are celebrating you every day, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll do it again. Bye-bye. God bless. Bye-bye.